Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 37. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching, and thanks for sharing your most valuable asset with me today, and that's your time. Truly appreciate you being here. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite models and the impact I think it can have right now on so many of us. And I've talked about this before, but I really want to spend some time digging in today about really questioning you and asking you to be really honest with yourself as to how you're showing up in your business and life in terms of, are you playing to win or are you in a protective mode of playing not to lose? And I really want to look at this differently than we have on a previous podcast, because what I am hearing, witnessing, experiencing out in the real world is that there is a level of frustration among some of my clients and some of the people that I have the privilege of coaching and speaking to in large groups or to workshop with organizations, is that things that we used to do that we could guarantee and predict our success with have changed a little. And we're not getting the level of response or result that we used to get. And it could be just because of, an external circumstance that's impacting it, but it's typically not necessarily for a lack of effort. But here's the hazard. If we continue to show up doing, and we don't get results, you're only human. And at some point, you're going to say, screw it. I'm not putting the effort out anymore because I'm not getting the results. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to go protect myself for a while until this poop storm passes by and things go back to normal. When in reality, anytime there is a change or an external circumstances that shakes things up like that, we don't want to wait for it to go back to normal, because it could A, be our new normal, or B, most money is made in difficult economic times. And so we don't want to miss our opportunity. So if we just look at some of the things that are happening in the world, it could make sense as to why so many people in so many different industries are experiencing a bit of a slowdown or not as much result as they used to get, even though they're doing the same amount of work or more. And it could be economic, right? We've got some stuff going on with the economy, interest rates, different things that are happening, political. We're in the middle of an election year, which is always fascinating to be bombarded by that information. And there's a little bit of consumer confidence that's been impacted right now because of the length of time things are taking to feel a little bit more normal with inflation. So it could be a lot of those things. But here's what that I preach all the time. Those are external circumstances. We get to choose what we think about those and the impact they have on us. So that's what I want us to keep in mind. But I also want us to be aware that where are we on this journey? So if you are someone who is currently experiencing this effect that you're doing what you used to do, you might even be doing a little bit more than what you used to do, but you're not quite getting the results that you were forecasting to get, this is where you might be. And it's okay. I want to catch you there before you do move into the give up. So the technical, if you will, verbiage that I want to use when I introduce this or reintroduce this model to you is the playing to win, playing not to lose. And in each one of those sections, there's a subsection. So you're either playing to win and you're winning, right? That's when everything is going great. You're doing the activity, you're getting the results, you're kind of in that flow. Your energy is great. We love being in that area. However, if you're like many right now, all of a sudden it feels like the rug has been pulled out a little bit from underneath you because you're not getting the results. So you're playing to win, but you're not winning. All right. This is a quadrant that I actually like, much to my dismay when it happens, because there's so much opportunity for growth and learning. And here's what I want to say. I don't want to spend too much time on the playing not to lose side on this podcast. But if we do not figure things out when we're still playing to win, we really are at risk of moving to playing not to lose. And I want to make this crystal clear. Playing not to lose and not losing is not winning. It's not. Some people think it is. Well, hey, I didn't lose. Well, you didn't win, right? That is not a win. And so I want to keep us on this side of the equation where we're playing to win, whether we're winning or not, because you're still in momentum at all times when you're in the zone of playing to win. And the second we fall out of momentum is when we risk that little side of us saying, I'm just going to go protect myself and not do anything. So playing to win, not winning, can be extremely frustrating if you allow it to be. I've been there several times in my own businesses and my personal life. And I'm going to share a personal example of the power of this because I've seen it in action and I've seen it work. So I was on a European trip. We were in Italy and we're with a group of friends, some of which were coaches. And if you can't tell by our logo and our brand colors, orange is one of my favorite colors. And I can remember we were walking down one of the little passageways in Venice, and I made a statement out loud. I said, I would love to find an orange watch. And people looked at me like I was kind of crazy. I mean, who has ever seen an orange watch other than, maybe like a Swatch watch, if you're old enough to remember what that is. And I had a specific picture in my head of what I wanted. I wanted a sporty, but could be dressy, and I wanted it to be orange, right? Kind of crazy. So not 20 minutes after I made this proclamation, we're walking and we pass a store, and in the window is a gorgeous watch that's has this beautiful orange strap, a little bit of orange on the face. And I was like, I think that's it. So we walk in, I'm very excited. I didn't pay too much attention to the brand, and I should have, but I did. And I walked in and I said, I want to see the watch in the window. And I started to look around and realize this was not a Swatch watch. This was not a Fossil, which I'm not judging any of the brands. I'm just saying this was a different level. And I put the watch on and I fell in love with it. But my brain moved quickly over to this protect mode, this play not to lose, not lose. And I started to have conversations with myself. Well, I've gone this long without an orange watch. Maybe, this is the first one I've seen, and I didn't budget for this, and I really need to protect the money that I brought with me, to use for other things. This is like day 2 of our trip. And I flipped this mode, and I very graciously told the salesperson I appreciated their help and I was going to think about it, which when we're in sales, we know that's kiss of death. And so we walked out of the store. One of my friends who knows me really well and also a coach approached me and asked me this question. Are you playing to win or playing not to lose when it comes to getting that watch? And I kind of looked at them. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you love the watch, right? I'm like, I absolutely love the watch. And you are, though, playing this role of playing not to lose right now. What would happen if you played to win? And it was in that moment that I realized I've got multiple opportunities to earn money, and I'm not on a set salary. I'm an entrepreneur. I have different businesses. And while it was a lot of money, I moved into the space of I can go make more money. Money is readily available. I just need to go find it and make it and attract it to me. So we had been walking for 20, 30 minutes. I turned around, go back in the store, buy the watch. And I loved it. And I still have it to this day. I usually have it on. I don't today. But anyway, I have it on. And we're walking. And probably an hour after the purchase, I get a text from my business partner back home and said, hey, that transaction we talked about, that deal you're working on, it just funded. And we got the approval, we got the money, it's done. And I want to tell you, this transaction was one of the things I was talking to my business partner before I left on this trip and said, don't give this any attention. This is a deal that I've been working on for over 6 months. The likelihood of it coming to fruition, I've kind of, it's there, but I don't give it a whole lot of attention and energy. So it's probably not even going to come up while I'm gone. But if it does, and you can make something happen and breathe life into it, great. It was that transaction. And it was a significant amount of money that was in my account because it went directly into our business account. And I firmly believe it was because energetically, I moved over to the play to win side of life. And this is not I'm not saying this for, go buy an expensive Rolls Royce and the money will show up. I'm saying that there is a lot of power and energy when you stay in the play to win zone. The second I stepped out of it, I was going to walk away from that watch. And that was, 7 years ago. I can guarantee you if I had not bought it, I would be saying it was the one that got away. I've never been able to find anything like it. And honestly, That brand of watch that is also sold in the US did not carry it. It was only sold in Europe. And I would have been disappointed, but I would have been in a protect mode. The second I moved over to playing to win and reframed and realized that I had belief in my abilities to earn money, that the feedback was right in front of me that I can go make the money. It's no big deal. Things changed. So where in your business or your life right now are you playing to win and not winning and at risk of moving into protect mode? Because we have one of two ways to go: play to win, not win to win, or play to win, not win to not lose. Again, playing not to lose is not a winning position. So what I love about playing to win, not winning, is you're still in a space of momentum. You're still showing up. You may have this little voice in your head saying, hey, are you sure this is worth it? Is this really going to work out? You may lose a little bit of belief in it being possible, but you're still showing up, taking the activity. And this is where our little unconscious brain can come in and create a lot of doubt, a lot of disbelief. But this is where the magic will happen if you allow it to. If I am playing to win, not winning, I immediately will continue doing the activity, but I move into working on the business versus being in the business. And I look at the feedback that's right in front of me, because that is going to make a difference if I stay playing to win or if I move to play not to lose. And when I look at the feedback that's right in front of me, I can become very strategic about things. I can look and say, okay, I'm doing these things. That's always worked. So there is no reason why it won't work now. But do I need to do a few tweaks or a few pivots to get it back to flowing to result? And usually you do. A circumstance has changed. Our words to the people that we sell to might need to change. Our strategy conversations with clients that we work with might need to change. Not the activity, perhaps the message that we're delivering. Our sales and marketing messaging may have to change. But if I ignored the feedback of it's not working, eventually I am human and I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to stop taking activity. I'm going to fall out of momentum. So I do love this because it's when a lot of growth happens. We get stuck in this set it and forget it mentality. I'm just going to do this, do this, do this. And a lot of times we don't analyze, and a slowdown can happen. Pay attention to the feedback. That's it. It's really that simple. And when you do, you can restructure, like I said, conversation, messaging, whatever it needs. Or maybe we need to plus the activity with some other things to get it back into producing results. So take a moment and ask yourself where you are. And for those of you that know me well and have followed me on this podcast, this model makes perfect sense, because when we're playing to win and we're not winning, we tend to have fallen out of state or have a change in our beliefs. Well, beliefs are just a thought that you've had over and over, and you all know how I feel about thoughts, right? Thoughts create feelings, actions, and results. So in this phase of playing to win, not winning, is also this hidden part that we need to pay attention to our reaction and our thoughts about a circumstance, and also work on that. Not only work on the logical strategy part of things, of changing my messaging, changing my conversation, maybe upping the number of conversations, but we also need to spend a moment saying, what are my thoughts right now about this? What am I feeling about this? Because if I am in a negative thought or feeling space, my actions and results are going to be impacted. So this is where the marriage of these two models come together. I've had a podcast on both of these. Episode number 1, very early on, I talked about the thought flow model. You can go listen to that. And I've also talked briefly about this playing to win, playing not to lose. But I really want you to pay attention and ask yourself, where are you? Am I truly playing to win? And you can simply answer that question by asking yourself, am I still in momentum? Am I still taking action? Or have I, on an unconscious level, moved over to this protect mode where I'm so frustrated that I just stopped taking the activity and I'm just hoping to protect my position, which you won't. I promise you, you won't. So ask yourself and have a conversation, where am I? A lot of people right now are play to win, not win. And if you do not do the simple thing of where are my thoughts and what is the feedback in front of me, we're on a slippery slope. That's all you have to do. And then you get to move back to playing to winning. And it may look different, but it's going to feel great. It may be something that makes you a smidge uncomfortable because you're having to change some things that you've always done, like your scripts. You might have to change your conversation. That may make you uncomfortable, but once you start to see the results again, you're going to feel like you're in the flow and things get easier. So I'm just going to invite you to take a moment. Where am I? Am I playing to win or playing not to lose? And if I'm playing to win, am I winning or am I not winning? And what do I need to do to stay in that space of winning? And you'll turn it around. I promise you'll turn it around. As human beings, we get, I don't think we like to think about this, but we're not different than any other animals. We like structure. We like to know that when I do this, this happens, right? Bell rings, dog salivates. We like that structure. And when things change and that structure no longer works is when we are at greatest risk for stopping and falling out of activity or momentum. So spend a moment. I've got a great handout on this. So if you would like a copy of it, just email me, tony@rethinkcoaching.com. If you would like to have a conversation around this, I'm working on putting together a webinar and it will be free. So watch my social media. Tony M. Caliendo is my Instagram. Tony Caliendo is my Facebook. Watch those for an invitation to a webinar on this very topic of the 4 quadrants. We'll dig a little bit deeper than I was able to do on this podcast because it'll be interactive. So if you've got some questions, pay attention to that and come join me. If you just want to email me, I'll send you the info on the webinar. I'll be happy to do that as well. So team, I'm going to ask you a huge favor. Play to win. Embrace when you're not, but still stay in activity and momentum. It is the thing that will separate you and allow you to get back to winning so much quicker and easier. I appreciate all of you for being here. I love this type of thinking because it's how we're showing up. And you get to choose your thoughts and you also get to choose how you show up. So we'll talk to you next week. Go make it a great week, friends. Talk to you later. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.